How many of you out there know what this is, what it's used for? Have you ever used it? Have you ever seen it? Can you guess what it is? Well, if you hang around, I'm going to show you what it is and how it's useful. Good morning, everybody. You're very welcome back to the channel. First thing I want to say is thanks to everybody who watched the videos over the last week or so. The Nuffield video proven very, very popular. Lots of comments on it. Lots of people with great memories from them. And still a lot of the other videos are still very, very popular. I'm getting lots of comments on them too, getting new subscribers, and people are going back over my old videos and having a look and commenting, and it's great to see it. So thanks to everybody. Keep the comments coming. It's great to have that little bit of interaction, and I do try and reply to as many people as I can. I try to reply to everybody, but as more and more comments come online, it's hard to reply to everybody. So coming up in the next week, we have a couple of very, very special videos that people have been waiting for, I suppose. And on Sunday, I have the first video in a very special line on a particular make of tractor, particular brand. So on Sunday, we will have the first one on this particular brand. And if you wait around till the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what it is. Then on Thursday, I have another mechanical related video. So it's about winter care for your machines, for your tractors and stuff like that. How to care for your batteries, antifreeze and bits and pieces like that. Just for the time of year that it is, and it is getting cold and stuff. Just the best way to protect your batteries, because people who have older machines and that, when you go out, you might only be using it every so often. So we're going to have a chat over that and talk about antifreeze and stuff like that. So for today's video, yeah, we've got this little tool. And it is an O-ring gauge, if you can see that. So that tool was given to me by the guys in Hydro Seals in Dublin, the company that I used to deal a lot with, getting bits and pieces off them, hoses and seals and O-rings and stuff for hydraulic rams and stuff like that, and they gave that to me, and it has come in very handy, and it is a super little tool, and it's for measuring AS568 gauge O-rings, which is the standard size O-rings that you get on 99% of machines and stuff like that. Now you would have certain O-rings that would be manufacturer specific, but this will do pretty much everything. So I'm going to show you how that works now in 1 minute. So as you can see, yeah, here we have our O-ring gauge for identifying size numbers, standard numbers of AS568 series O-rings. There's our list of instructions. So if you look at the top of it here, if you just look at the top, I don't know if you can get that in focus there, you can see there's slots in the top, and they're all different thicknesses, and the thickness is marked here on the gauge. So what I want to do is I want to take an O-ring. First of all, I need to get the thickness of it. So I'm going to try it in each of these slots. That one's too big, that one's too big. So if we look here to this one, so you just want it to fit in with a nice bit of resistance. So that just slides in nicely, a nice little bit of resistance. So that's the gauge, that's the thickness that we have there. So we want to work off this side of the machine. So the size of the O-ring that you have will depict on where you're going to loop it in around. So this one here, this size O-ring we have here, will snugly fit in, you can see there, into those two grooves. Now if you had a larger size O-ring, you'd loop it across the top, and then you'd loop it across the bottom, and then you'd pull your O-ring, you'd stretch it out from the bottom. But in this instance, we have a smaller size O-ring. We're going to catch it in here in these two grooves. We're just going to gently pull it until it's not stretched, but it's just taut. So we want to just pull it as taut, and then we look into the window. We can see there we have a gauge size 223. So that's the size of that O-ring. That O-ring is a 223 O-ring. Now again, we can chuck that one away. We can get a different size. Here's a bigger one again. Now I know again these are out of the same kit, so that one slots into that as well. You just keep going around till you find the one that it fits into that slot. Loop it in around the top, loop it in around the bottom, and make sure it's sitting into the groove nicely. Give it a gentle pull till it's taut but not stretched. And we have 226. So that's a 226 size O-ring. Now you will see on the side of the machine, on the side of the gauge, that there are these sizes here. Now these are O-rings that won't stretch, obviously. You can't fit them over and then give them a stretch. So what you will do is you'll take your O-ring and you place it over the top of it. So that's a particular thick O-ring there with a small center diameter. And then you'll have larger ones. And then on this side, you'll have tiny ones. So it starts at 001. That'll be the smallest gauge. Very thick wall with a very, very small center in it. You have all different sizes. And it's a really, really handy tool. So depending on what size you have, you'll either have a big one that you loop across the top, you loop across the bottom, pull it, take your reading, or you'll loop it over the 2 half moons. Now because we have this one here that loops over the 2 half moons, sorry, I should have mentioned that will depict what gauge we're reading off here. So we've 2 half moons here. We're not using the top half moon and the full bottom circle. We're using the 2 half moons, so we're reading out this window here. So that's our 226 O-ring. Yeah, so that's basically it. It's a very, very simple little machine or tool. It's not very expensive. As you can see there, you know, there's hundreds of sizes of O-rings, thousands I'd say in this. And you know, you can get a kit with the most popular sizes in it, and that's grand. But if you don't want to be between sizes, you don't want to be stretching one onto something that it won't fit, or putting a sloppy one on. That's just not the right fit. You want to get it right, you know, and so that's what that gauge will come in. It's nearly impossible to have a kit that has them all in it, because some of them that will just never be used. So if you get a reading, if you get something, you just ring up your supplier and tell them that's the size gauge or that's the size O-ring I have, and they'll be able to pick it off the shelf for you. So that's it. Very, very simple little tool. There's no manufacturer's name on it that I can see. Made in China. There's a patent number there. Patent number ORSG. So I don't know if you want to Google it, if you're interested in something like that, if you think it'd be handy, if you're working with hydraulics and rams and stuff like that, it's a gift. But yeah, just Google it, you'll come up with it. I'm sure you'll find it someplace. But yeah, I got mine in this one in Hydro Seals in Dublin. Yeah, so that's it. That's it for today. That's just a quick little video on something that some of you might find very, very helpful. If you're a mechanic, if you're a fitter, or if you just like doing a little bit of renovation work, or if you're a farmer at home, you strip your own rams and stuff. Very, very simple tool to have. So coming up, next weekend I have a very special video starting off on our Massey Ferguson series. So it will be on the first of the Masseys, the TE20. I will down the line be doing a video on Harry Ferguson himself, to go along with our John Deere video and our David Brown particular video. I will be doing one on Harry Ferguson himself, but this weekend's video coming up will be on the little TE20. And I have been working on that for the last while and trying to learn as much as I can. So stick around for that one. And then on Thursday, I will have the video on the winter care program. So your batteries and your antifreeze and stuff like that, and how best to take care of your machine over the winter. But for today, for Sunday, that is it. Hope everyone's getting their Christmas shopping done. Don't spend too much money. Give a little bit to charity if you can. I find people kind of lose their own themselves this time of year, but there are a lot of people out there that are struggling at the minute. So if there is a charity, children's charity or something, I always try to throw a little bit to them every year, whatever I can afford. Anything at all is better than nothing. So that is it for this week. I will see you all on Thursday. Thanks for watching.